हेलो एवरीवन एंड वेलकम टू शिफ्टिंग गियर्स। आज के वीडियो में मेरे साथ है सुजुकी की नई V-Strom SX। दिस इज अ 250 सीसी क्लास एडवेंचर मोटरसाइकिल। सुजुकी के जिक्सर SF और जिक्सर 250 सीसी बाइक्स के साथ ये मोटरसाइकिल काफ़ी सारे पार्ट्स शेयर करती है। दिस इज अ प्लेटफॉर्म शेयर्ड सिबलिंग इन दैट 250 सीसी कैटेगरी फ्रॉम द हाउस ऑफ सुजुकी। इस वीडियो में हम बात करने वाले हैं इस बाइक के डिज़ाइन के बारे में, फीचर्स के बारे में, एंड वी विल ऑल्सो स्पीक अ लॉट अबाउट द ergonomics ऑन दिस मोटरसाइकिल बिकॉज दिस इज एडवेंचर फोकस्ड एंड इट इज टूरिंग स्पेसिफिक। इस बाइक के लिए हमने एक अलग से राइड रिव्यू वीडियो अपलोड किया है, सो डू चेक दैट आउट। सब्सक्राइब टू द शिफ्टिंग गियर्स चैनल इफ यू हैवंट टिल नाउ एंड प्रेस दैट बेल आइकॉन। नाउ फर्स्ट लेट्स टॉक अबाउट द प्राइस ऑफ दिस V-Strom SX। अभी ये जो सुजुकी V-Strom SX है, दिस 250 सीसी एडवेंचर मोटरसाइकिल, इसकी एक शोरूम प्राइस टैग है 2,11,600। कंपेयर दैट विद द जिक्सर 250 विच इज प्राइस टैग रुपीज 1,79,700 एंड द जिक्सर SF 250 which is priced at roughly 1,91,000 rupees ex showroom. This does ask for a lot more money. But then when you compare it to those two motorcycles, this is much more relaxed. When you go out on a long ride, you are going to be much more happier munching miles. And of course, this is also going to be happy if you just go out and ride closer to the nature, because it is an adventure focused motorcycle. But this is not an all out adventure bike. You have to keep that in mind, because you get a 19-inch front wheel which is an alloy wheel, and you get a 17-inch rear wheel. Also, the engine tune is similar to the Gixxer siblings, and even the gearing is identical. So there is nothing specifically changed in the mechanical bits when you want to go off-roading. इस बाइक के साथ आपको switchable ABS ये फीचर भी नहीं मिलता है. So this is more of a touring motorcycle with some capabilities to just take you through a trail. And if you are a skilled rider, I think this bike will do enough justice when you want to go and explore nature, and when you want to just keep riding even when the tarmac ends. सबसे पहले तो very quickly let's talk about the bigger changes on this motorcycle. As you can notice, the body work has changed, और इसके वजह से ये बाइक जो है आपको एक proper big bike look ऑफर करने वाली है. It is substantial and it will turn heads as well. It has that typical adventure styling with that front beak, so it looks the part and it is segment worthy for sure. 19 इंच का फ्रंट व्हील मिल रहा है आपको, ये मैंने आपको ऑलरेडी बता दिया है. But then you will notice that the axle mount on this front telescopic fork, it is offset. It is not similar to the other Gixxer siblings. Also, you will notice इस बाइक के साथ आपको dual purpose tires मिल रहे हैं. These are MRF tires and they have done a fantastic job in terms of offering us grip and confidence when we were riding it on road and also off the road on a familiar trail. After that, you will notice that the seats are different. These are very, very comfortable. And then you will notice that the suspension unit on this motorcycle at both ends, it is identical to the Gixxer siblings. You are only getting 120 mm of suspension travel at the front, and I think ये थोड़ा ज़्यादा होना चाहिए था ताकि आप और ज़्यादा खराब रास्तों को अच्छे से टैकल कर पाते. This is still a street biased motorcycle, although the focus is on pitching it as an adventure motorcycle. But now let's talk about the features in detail. सामने से जब आप इस बाइक को देख लेते हो, you will notice that you get a full LED headlamp, and this is similar to the naked Gixxer sibling. This is a very neatly integrated job and this is very nicely done. So भले ही ये part share हो रहा है, it gels in and just mingles well with this overall styling. You can notice you get this front beak typical of adventure motorcycles और यहाँ पे आपको V-Strom SX की branding नजर आएगी. There is no 250 written over here, but when you look at this bike, you will easily identify it as a 250cc class motorcycle from Suzuki. इस beak के नीचे आपको एक full size mudguard दिया गया है. Hard plastic. There is some texture over here. This tri-arrow motif looks decent, and it is good that this is a plastic piece because if at all आप खराब ट्रेल स्पेस बाइक को चला लोगे, अगर ये पेंटेड पीस होता तो यहाँ पे आपको स्क्रैचेस नजर आ जाते विथ योर ओनरशिप. दिस इज गोइंग टू लास्ट द डिस्टेंस. यू विल नोटिस इस बाइक के साथ आपको एक सिंगल डिस्क ब्रेक मिल जाता है एट द फ्रंट. You get bi-brake calipers and of course you get dual channel ABS with this motorcycle. ये जो alloy wheels हैं इस बाइक के, they are in a matte finish and you can notice they are multi-spoke wheels. You also have a reflector positioned over here for lateral visibility, for safety. और टायर्स मैंने आपको ऑलरेडी दिखा दिए हैं. Just if you are curious, these tires are 100, 90, 19 and these are MRF tires. After that, you will notice that the side fairing of this bike, typical of adventure motorcycles, it extends till the front beak and then wraps around this fuel tank. Fuel tank capacity जो है, it is also not all that great. We will talk about the numbers in just a bit, but I wish that the fuel tank was a little larger so that you could ride into the distance for that much longer without requiring a fuel stop. लेकिन overall, ये जो finishing है, the way everything is put together, it looks very well done. But these four, locking points, I wish that these points were not exposed and they were covered up more neatly. Suzuki का badge आपको यहाँ पे नजर आएगा. You have this matte finished fuel filler cap. You have this matte plastic section over here on the fuel tank. Plastic piece. And then when you look at the lower end, यहाँ पे आपको textured plastic panel दिया गया है. Again with that tri-arrow motif. This is going to offer you that extra bit of grip. And on these tank extensions आपको नजर आएगा stickers दिए गए हैं. You can notice the SX branding and you have your engine capacity, very proudly written over here. This is a 250cc class bike. And then you have these decals for Suzuki's engine technology. नीचे आप देख लीजिए engine area जो है, it is in a dark theme. You have this dark gunmetal finish for this engine casing section. Even the cylinder head gets that gunmetal color. Everything else is blacked out. यहाँ पे आपको ये छोटी सी metal bash plate मिल जाती है. This is very thoughtful and very useful as well, so that your engine components are protected if you are too adventurous. Then you will notice this piece over here is in a dark grey finish. You have this metal piece as your heel plate. But then I don't really like this brake lever. It looks cheap. लेकिन यहाँ पे फिर भी एक protection point दिया गया है so that your feet stays in place and it is not, going too close to the engine. Foot peg पे आपको rubberized top मिल रहा है. This does a fantastic job of, reducing the vibration feel on your feet. And then you will notice that this exhaust, similar to the Gixxer siblings, but it gets a black theme and you have a gloss black, end tip for this dual port exhaust. Decent दिखता है ये exhaust. I wish it was a little different so that it looked a little bit more adventurous. If it was positioned a little higher, maybe it could have added to the visual bulk of this bike and it would have, looked more adventure ready. But then this is a platform shared product, so that is something that you will have to live with. जो चीज़ मुझे इस बाइक की सबसे ज़्यादा पसंद आई है, that is the seat. It is so spacious, it is so comfortable and it is so well padded that you will have a very good time riding this bike for long hours. There is enough room for the rider and there is enough room for the pillion as well. Yesterday we were out on a ride. We were two 5 feet 8 inch adults on this motorcycle and there was enough room for two, and maybe a city ride or a occasional weekend ride. Both of y'all will not have any problems at all, and the engine does perform quite well. It is a very smooth engine, so do check out our ride review video to understand how this motorcycle performs. Seat पे आप देख लीजिए आपको dual tone finish मिल रही है and you also have the SX branding on this pillion seat. पीछे आप देख लीजिए ये जो आपको pillion grab rail मिल रही है, it also integrates this luggage rack. यहाँ पे आप एक top box mount कर सकते हो and This is very thoughtful, very useful, so you won't have to buy an additional accessory. After that, you will notice that the tail lamp of this motorcycle, it is shared with the old 150cc Gixxer. I don't know why Suzuki has done that. They could have redesigned or brought in a new looking tail lamp, because this looks a little too odd and outdated in my books. Also, इस बाइक के जो टर्न इंडिकेटर्स हैं, they are of the standard bulb type. यहाँ पे आपको LED टर्न इंडिकेटर्स नहीं मिल रहे हैं, and I think that at this price LED टर्न इंडिकेटर्स should become a standard feature. पीछे का व्हील आप देख लीजिए. You are getting a 17-inch alloy wheel. You get a disc brake. स्विचेबल ABS नहीं है, तो पीछे का ब्रेक जो है उसे आप ABS फीचर के साथ डिसेंगेज नहीं कर पाओगे. You will not be able to lock that rear wheel when you are off-roading. You get a splash guard over here. Then you can notice you get a 7-step adjustable rear monoshock. This is your oil filler cap for your rear brake. And then just have a look at this box type swing arm. ये swing arm जो है standard Gixxer models के मुकाबले अलग है. This is longer, and that has also resulted in a longer wheelbase, which makes this motorcycle very stable out on the highway. पीछे का ये जो mudguard है, it is nice and long, लेकिन यहाँ पे कोई additional टायर हगर आपको नहीं दिया गया है. On the left hand side you will notice इस Suzuki V-Strom SX के साथ आपको एक full size सारी गार्ड मिल रहा है. Very nicely integrated. If you look at it from the other side, you will notice that it matches the wheel, the shape of the wheel, so it doesn't look too ungainly and ugly. And I think ये एक ऐसा पार्ट है जो आपको बाइक खरीदते ही निकालना नहीं पड़ेगा, because it looks ugly. This does enough justice to the overall design. Pillion foot peg पे आपको ये texture मिल रहा है for added grip, but there is no rubberized finish over here. But you have these bungee mounts over here integrated with the foot peg. यहाँ पे या यहाँ पे आपको जहाँ पे भी bungee attach करनी है, you can do that. Then you will notice the gear shifter. It is a toe shifter only. Heel and toe gear shifter आपको नहीं मिल रहा है. And then the biggest highlight of this engine is this particular part over here. इस बाइक के साथ आपको oil cooling technology मिलती है, SOCS, Suzuki Oil Cooling System. You can read that decal over here. और ये जो oil cooling system है, it is very smart. It tries to mimic liquid cooling, and this is going to ensure that you can ride for a longer time without the engine feeling stressed. ये जो oil cooler है, इसके लिए एक fan भी यहाँ पे पीछे अच्छी तरह से tuck in किया गया है. So Suzuki has worked very hard to ensure that this engine delivers when you want to go out touring. And we know that this 250cc engine is one of the smoothest in the class, and it is definitely very relaxed, and it will keep you a happy rider when you go out on that long ride. It is not very performance oriented, लेकिन ये जो single cylinder motor है, it does everything just right, and for city commutes especially, this is a very relaxed motor. Like I already mentioned, this is an oil cooled motorcycle, so there is no liquid cooling, तो यहाँ पे आपको कोई radiator नज़र नहीं आएगा. You can notice you have your single tone horn positioned over here, and यहाँ पे इस oil cooler के लिए एक grill भी आपको मिल जाता है. I don't know if this is part of the standard kit or if you have to buy it as an accessory. If this is a standard fitment, this is a very good feature that Suzuki is offering to you. Now let's talk about the speedometer cluster of this bike. इस मोटरसाइकिल के साथ आपको एक full digital unit मिलता है. Check it out. When you start the bike, this is how it fires up. फुल डिजिटल यूनिट है ये. यहाँ पे आपको गियर पोजीशन इंडिकेटर मिल जाता है. दिस इज योर डिजिटल स्पीड रीडआउट. यू हैव अ डिजिटल टैकोमीटर. ऊपर आपको डिजिटल फ्यूल गेज मिल जाता है. यू हैव अ क्लॉक. एंड देन यहाँ पे आप देख लीजिए आपको जो इन्फॉर्मेशन मिलती है. दिस इज एवरेज ए, दिस इज ट्रिप बी, एवरेज बी, दिस इज योर इंस्टेंटेनियस फ्यूल इकोनॉमी. यू हैव योर बैटरी चार्ज इंडिकेटर ओवर हियर, एंड देन यू हैव ट्रिप ए. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, ये जो सेक्शन है यहाँ पे आपको आपके स्मार्टफोन कनेक्टिविटी के फीचर्स नज़र आएंगे. एंड व्हेन यू वांट टू पेयर योर स्मार्टफोन, जस्ट प्रेस दिस बटन ओवर हियर, एंड देन दिस डिस्प्ले गोज ऑन टू द पेयरिंग मोड. वंस योर स्मार्टफोन इज पेयर्ड, यहाँ पे आपको कॉल नोटिफिकेशन, SMS नोटिफिकेशंस नज़र आएंगे. एंड दिस टर्न बाय टर्न नेविगेशन वर्क्स रियली वेल. यहाँ पे आप देख लीजिए कितना डिस्टेंस है फॉर योर नेक्स्ट टर्न, वो यहाँ पे दिया गया है. देन यू हैव योर ETA विच इज डिस्प्लेड ओवर हियर. एंड देन check this out. If you get an SMS from your Facebook app, वो भी यहाँ पे आपको नजर आएगा, एंड यू हैव दिस आई लोगो फ्लैशिंग which gives you an indication that there is something that has popped up on your smartphone. And overall trip distance कितना बचा है वो भी यहाँ पे आपको नजर आने वाला है. Also if you set a speed alert, अगर आप एक speed warning set कर देते हो आपके फोन ऐप के थ्रू, तो वो भी आपको यहाँ पे नजर आने वाला है when you are riding this bike. The next few things which you should notice about this motorcycle, इस V-Strom SX के साथ आपको knuckle guards दिए गए हैं. They are not too tall, but they do a decent job of offering you wind protection. अगर सामने के बाइक से कोई pebbles kick up हो जाते हैं, they are not going to hurt your fingers. The levers are of the non-adjustable type. ये जो levers हैं, they are painted in black, but you cannot adjust the reach for these levers. Switch gear की quality जो है वो काफ़ी अच्छी है. You get a kill switch, you have your starter button, and on the left hand side you have the standard controls. There is no hazard light functionality with this bike, and like I mentioned, this bike के साथ आपको कोई switchable ABS feature नहीं दिया गया है, so there is no button to do that on this motorcycle. After that you will notice this is the keyhole. Handlebar के आगे इसे position किया गया है. To the right hand side of the speedometer cluster you get a USB charging point as well, and once you open this flap, check this out. आप इस फ्लैप को किस तरह से अच्छी तरीके से यहाँ पे टक कर सकते हो. दिस इज़ वेरी थॉटफुल एंड दिस इज़ वेरी यूजफुल. एक ब्लू इल्यूमिनेशन भी यहाँ पे आपको नजर आएगा, एंड दिस USB चार्जिंग पॉइंट इज गोइंग टू एंश्योर दैट योर गैजेट्स आर चार्ज्ड when you are going out on that long ride. So you can have an additional GPS mount if you wish, or you can just charge your smartphone on the go or charge your GoPro if you use it on your rides. Now that is pretty much it. Those are all the features that you get with this 2022 Suzuki V-Strom SX 250cc class motorcycle. मेरी height है 5 feet 8 inches. Now let's talk about the ergonomics. If I have to get on this motorcycle, check this out. It is very easy to swing a leg. When I am seated on this motorcycle, check this out. I have both my feet on the ground, but I am not flat footing. Now let me tell you the dimensions of this motorcycle. ये जो मोटरसाइकिल है, it measures 2180 millimeters in length, 880 millimeters in width, 1355 millimeters in height. It has a wheelbase of 1440 millimeters, ground clearance of 205 millimeters, seat height of 835 millimeters, curb weight of 167 kgs, and fuel tank capacity of 12 liters. So 835 millimeter के seat height के साथ, this is not very scary, this is not very intimidating. It is still more accessible when you compare it to the KTM adventure motorcycles, but it is still on the taller side. You can get a low seat accessory option from Suzuki if you think this is too tall of a seat height. So that is up to you. But overall for me, this is very, very comfortable. इस बाइक का जो हैंडल बार है, it is nice and wide, and it is pulled a little towards you, towards the rider, so you sit nice and upright. और इस राइडिंग पोस्चर में आप दिन भर इस बाइक को चला पाओगे. एंड लेट मी टेल यू अगेन, the seat of this motorcycle is fantastic. It is so cushiony, it is so well padded that your bottom is not going to be sore जब आप एक लॉन्ग राइड पे इस बाइक का इस्तेमाल करते हो. KTM 250 एडवेंचर के मुकाबले इस बाइक की जो सीट है, it is brilliant. But then the Royal Enfield Himalayan still offers the most couch-like rider seat in this category. Before I get off the motorcycle, one thing that I missed showing you about the front end of this bike, it does get a tall windscreen, a fly screen. लेकिन ये screen जो है, it is not height adjustable. This is a fixed locking position. But have a look at it. It is nice and tall, and it has done a decent job when I was riding this bike out on the highway. So 80 to 90 kilometers per hour, no wind buffeting, and I was a relaxed rider on this Suzuki V-Strom SX. एक और चीज़ जो आपने नोटिस करनी चाहिए वो ये है दैट व्हेन यू प्लेस इट ऑन द साइड स्टैंड, ये बाइक जो है काफ़ी ज़्यादा झुक जाती है. सो पार्क इट अकॉर्डिंगली. एंड दिस पिलियन सीट, लाइक आई मेंशन्ड, आई वाज ओवर हियर फॉर अ 20 kilometer राइड yesterday and I was very comfortable. This grab rail was not hurting my bottom, and I was not hugging my rider too much either. So this is very, very comfortable for your occasional two-up riding. अगर आपको सीट ओपन करनी है, you get the keyhole over here, and under the seat, this is the amount of space that you get. You can store your paperwork, and you have your first aid kit positioned over here, and there is enough room for your usual oddities which you need to carry with you on your motorcycle ride. So guys, that's about it. That is all that you need to know about this Suzuki V-Strom SX in terms of features and ergonomics. आपको ये बाइक कैसी लगी ये आप हमें कमेंट्स में ज़रूर बताइए. Do check out our ride review video. It is the most detailed ride review video which you will get out on the internet here from the Indian streets. So you will get to know this bike better before you spend your hard-earned money and bring it home. कंपेयर टू कंपटीशन आप हमें ज़रूर बताइए क्या आप ये बाइक खरीदना पसंद करोगे. इफ़ यू हैव एनी अदर क्वेरीज आस्क मी इन द कमेंट्स बिलो एंड आई विल ट्राई माई बेस्ट टू हेल्प यू आउट. See you soon. Subscribe to the Shifting Gears channel. Press that bell icon. Always ride safe and always guys wear your helmets.